Hi, my name is Siti Nuzulika binti Kamarudin, Nometry A23A2644 for subject Application of Mathematic and Statistic in Business. I'm Group 6. And this is my team, No Atira, No Farasha Mimi, and Siti Nuzulika. Next is Siti Aisha and No Alia Mesara. Introduction. Statistical data analysis is the process of collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting data to uncover pattern, trend, and relationship. It involves various techniques and methodologies to analyze both quantitative and qualitative data, allowing research and analysts to make informed decisions based on empirical evidence. In addition, a dataset is structured collection often presented in tabular form that is organized into rows and columns. Each row represents a single record and observation, while each column represents a specific attribute or variable of the data. It includes quantitative and qualitative information collected for the purpose of analysis, interpretation, and drawing conclusion. Furthermore, performing statistical data analysis on this dataset can contribute with numerous benefits that enhance decision-making and strategy planning. By applying mathematical and statistical techniques, business can uncover patterns, trends, and relationships within the data that might not be properly obvious. Descriptive statistics can provide a comprehensive summary of customer demographic and spending behavior and identify key trends and patterns. For instance, analyzing the distribution of age and annual income can help the store understand its customer base better. Next is sampling and data selection. Sampling and data selection are current process is statistical analysis that involve choosing the representative subset of data from a large population. Sampling refers to the method used to select this subset, which can be random, stratified, systematic, or clustered depending on the goals of the analysis and the nature of the population. Data selection is the process of identifying and choosing specific data points, subset, or sample for a large data set that are relevant to particular analysis or study. The current step ensures that the data used is both representative and relevant to the objective of the analysis. Next is some sample for the complete data set in this section before proceeding to further section. Firstly, you need to install the SPSS software on your laptop, then go to the file, open data, and navigate to the location where the dataset file is saved. Select the dataset file and click Open to insert the dataset that are provided by the lecturer into the SPSS apps. For example, metric numbers and last digit and sample a smaller and large number. The smaller number is 13 and the large number is 78. Second, click on the data and select case for the provide option. After the select case dialog box open, we will see a subset of case from the dataset based on specific criteria that allowing us to choose on it. On the select case dialog box in the select section, click the random sample of case for the list. Then click on the sample button specific to criteria you have choose for random sample of case section. Third is on the select case random sample where we can specify the method to select a random sample of case. Click on the second option at the sample size and enter the number of case based on the largest and smallest of the last two metric numbers, which is 470 case for the first and 578 case on at the exactly option. Then click continue to get the result. After that, the SPSS will randomly select 470 case out of the first 578 case in dataset. To generate, save file and click Continue in the Select Case Random Sample dialog box. Back in Select Case dialog box, make sure the option Filter out unselected case in check. Then click OK in the Select Case dialog box to apply the random sample selection. Next is SPSS will now generate the random sample based on our specific criteria selection. As we can observe, the number of cases has been reduced to 470 and the row display the randomly selected case from the original dataset. Therefore, we should examine the data view to ensure only the selected case are marked for inclusion. The unselected case will have a filter indicator. To permanently remove the unselected case, go to the data menu, then click select data again. Select case again. As a result, we have to choose delete unselected case. 5. Lastly, the SPSS statistic view window will provide a summary of the selected dataset and the analysis conduct. Upon completing the random sampling, save the sample datasets for subsequent analysis in the following section by navigating to File, Save As, and selecting an appropriate file name and location. Next is final result from the SPSS apps. This is from our metric numbers.
0.3 Descriptive Statistic. In order to create a concise and comprehensible overview, data must be compiled and arranged according to descriptive statistic by offering straightforward summaries and statistics that highlight significant phases of the data. This statistic assists in characterizing the fundamental characteristic of a dataset. Descriptive statistics often comprise measures of central tendency, such as the mean, median, and mode. Measure of variability or spread such as the range, variance, and standard deviation, and graphical representation such as histogram and bar chart. These technologies allow researchers to present data in a digestible way and to find patterns, trends, and outliers. Since they lay the groundwork for more statistical testing and inference, descriptive statistics are frequently used as the initial stage of data analysis. 3.1 Numerical descriptive measure. Based on the sample data obtained in section 2, provide some numerical descriptive measure on suitable variables. This can include the measure of central tendency, the measure of position, and the measure of variation. Explain what each measure is about and what each value says that about the data. This is our data for numerical descriptive measure. First is measure of central tendency, second is measure of position, and third measure of variation. This is the process. 3.2 about graphical representation. Based on the histogram and pie chart on picture 2 is a graphical illustration provided for the variable age, BMI, and region. The analysis includes observation based on the distribution, central tendency, and variation within the data set. Histogram for age, shape of distribution, central tendency, spread, outliers. Histogram for BMI, median, interquartile range, IQR, outliers, symmetry. 3. Bar chart for region, frequency distribution, composition, and variability. 0.4 and 4.1 Inferential statistic and hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is statistical method used to make inference or draw a conclusion about a population based on sample data. It involves formulating hypotheses, collecting and analyzing data, and making decisions based on the result. Hypothesis testing is a statistical method used to make decisions or inference about population parameter based on sample data. Important in statistics, hypothesis testing is crucial in statistics for several reasons. Decision making. It provides a systematic framework for making decisions based on data. Scientific research. It is foundational in scientific research for testing theories and hypotheses. Quality control. It helps monitoring and improving processes and products. Policy making, it informs policy decision by providing evidence-based conclusion. Medical research, it is essential for validating the effectiveness of treatments and invention. 2. Independent sample test, t-test and ANOVA. Independent sample t-test, this test used to compare the means of two independent groups to see if there is statistically significant difference between them. Example of variable, comparing the average age between two different sexes, comparing average BMI between two different sexes. Analysis of variance ANOVA, this test used to compare the means of three or more independent groups. Example of variable, comparing the average number of children in each family, compare average across different regions. 4.2. Using t-test. Performing t-tests and making conclusion, analyze the data provided in the image using an independent sample t-test. Step-by-step analyze. First, leaving test for equality of variance. Value equal 21.948 and 0.001. Since the price value is 0.001 is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis of equal variance. Therefore, we will use the raw label equal variance not assumed. Second, t-test for equality for means for equal variance not assumed. T equal 2.227, 355.348. 2 plus tail equal 0.027. Mean difference equal 2611.51. 20 error difference equal 1172.85645 and 95% confidence interval of the difference 304.89744 and also 4918.12259. 4.3. Using analysis of variance is ANOVA. The ANOVA is a statistical tool used to determine whether there is a statistically significant difference between three or more groups. Here how we get the 4 ANOVA result for our group. Breakdown of ANOVA table 1. Groups. Total square sum of square equal 48156,994.18. Degrees of freedom equal 3. Mean square equal 16052,331.60. F value 0.120. Important signature equal 0.9482. Point within the group. Number of sum square equal 5.072. E plus 10 got 1572. Degrees of freedom equal 379. Mean square equal 382,039.3. Amount number of sum square equal 5.077. E plus 10 got 15,717. Degrees of freedom equal 382. Conclusion. Discovering and choosing particular data point subsets are sampled from a largest data set. They are pertinent to a given analysis or study is known as data selection. This important stage guarantees that the data is representative and pertinent to the data analysis goal. Analysis can reduce noise and any bias that could skew results by carefully selecting data and concentrating on the most relevant information. To that end, using a refined data set minimizes the number of resources and computation complexity needed, which not only increase the accuracy and reliability of the result but also increase the analysis efficiency. By collect data, metric number of group number and extract the last 2 digits from all of them, we get the largest number is 78 and the smallest is 13. That's all for my group. Thank you.